Okay, so I tried to do a million different variations of this. I tried to do it on Zoom and then record so I could show myself and talk a little bit and also show my screen and show my spreadsheet. But I have a free account on Zoom, and you can't record your meetings on your mobile devices on the free. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so this is my very short prediction video because I'm literally in line to walk into the show and I want to get the video up before the show starts, right? Like, you gotta do your predictions before the show starts. So I'm gonna now screen record and voiceover so y'all can see the scoring spreadsheet. Now I haven't done my scoring video yet, so some of this might be confusing if you don't know how the scoring works. But I promise I will upload the scoring video soon, so if it's super confusing, watch it anyway, and then when I upload the scoring video, watch that, and then come back to this, and it'll probably make more sense. So the first thing is, I was absolutely not going to try to rank this all the way down to the last place, right? Like, I wasn't going to go all the way down. Nobody does predictions like that anyway. I was really just trying to get who I thought would be in the top 6, maybe top 7, like who might be fighting for that top 6 spots. So I really only ranked the people that I thought would be in those spots. So first off, there's a lot of variability. There's a lot of variability in this because it could be a million different ways, which you'll see when you see my scorecard. But also, you know, if I missed one person that will be in the top 6, but I didn't put in mine, it throws off every single ranking, right? So anyway, and my disclaimer is, obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I'm like obsessed with literally every single person. Like, I think everybody is amazing competitors. But one thing I learned from Amber P when she like talks about her reviews, she's like, you got to chop the heads off. Like, you can't make your predictions. And she actually wasn't talking about predictions. She was talking about feedback from your own show. She's like, you can't look at this as like, well, I really like that person, or like, oh, she's so nice, or like, you have to chop the heads off and look at this completely objectively. So there's like people that I've said that I love, like, and I'll start like with Allison. Allison is someone who I adore. I think she's the shape queen. I don't think a single person, thank you. It's on one. Sorry, I was literally walking in. I don't think a single person will have a better shape than Allison. However, Allison struggles to come in condition, and honestly, in this particular lineup, like, she's not someone I'm going to put in my top 6 physiques. So there's like people like that I just want to make sure when y'all are watching this video, and you're like, what? She didn't put me in the top of this, she didn't put me in the top of that. Like, I wouldn't put myself either. I put myself in this lineup, physique-wise, I would put myself second to last. Like, so anyway, I'm in the expo now, but I'm gonna like really try to get this video done. I'm gonna actually play back this sound first to see if it's like outrageously loud, if it's even worth uploading this video. This is my scorecard spreadsheet. Now listen, I've actually changed this about 1,000,000 times. And my first disclaimer on this is that, as you can see, these are increments of 3 that these are jumping. The Olympia actually goes by 5, but it doesn't really matter. It ends up like being the same as far as rankings go. So I was not about to change the whole thing just for this YouTube video, so I didn't. So I have changed this about 1,000 times, and honestly, I'm not even really set on this. I might change it during this video. So I'm gonna do this as if y'all know exactly how scoring works, so I'm not gonna explain the scoring and all that stuff. But my first place physique is Ariel. Ariel's new physique. She just updated some photos, and let me tell you, Ariel tends to have like kind of a blocky waist for her, like for her body. But let me tell you, when I saw the update, I was like, this girl is peeled, the waist is tight. Like, I think she's going to win physique, which is bold because she got 3rd in physique last year. I think that Jacqueline is going to get 2nd in physique. Jacqueline works. She actually beat Ariel the last 2 times that she saw her in physique. She won the physique round at the Arnold, and she got 2nd in the physique round to Missy at the Olympia last year. So I think she's going to stay very high. Like I said, Ariel brought something insane this year, so, you know, from what I've seen on Instagram. And while I think that Jacqueline has an incredible physique, I just think that what Ariel's doing is like going to be really hard for her to beat. Next, I have Jody. Then Missy. And honestly, I'm not convinced on the order of Jody, Missy, and Whitney. Like I said, this has been shifted around a lot, but the reason I ended up putting Jody over Missy is just that Jody's conditioning is insane, and Missy always does come conditioned, but you can really, really see the different muscles in Jodi's posterior specifically. And even though she doesn't quite have the shape that Missy or Whitney has, you know, again, I have her in third, but I could have her as low as fifth because Missy and Whitney have significantly better shapes in my opinion. But her conditioning is just insane. So I'm going to go with Jodi, then Missy, then Whitney. So that's like my top 5 physiques. Like I said, that order is a little sketchy, but that's what I put down. And then I have Sarah, because again, she kind of reminds me of Ariel. She's very petite, but she has great shape. She has great conditioning. Honestly, I could see her a little higher. And then I have Oksana. Oksana has been going like a little bit lower and lower in the physique rounds the last few years. She didn't compete last year, but again, I just don't think that her conditioning, she hasn't really been coming in the conditioning, and her shape is not, it's just not as, her waist isn't as small as some of the others, which is why I have her lower. And then the reason I put Taylor in here is just because I do think in the routine round she's going to rank super high. So, but I do think that Taylor will be the 15th place physique. So that's my physique round. That's the totals. Then we have routine. I think that Taylor is going to win routine. She's doing the best routine that I've ever seen in fitness. I know that Becky Clausen has said that she's doing the best skills she's ever seen in fitness. I don't see anybody doing a full routine better than Taylor. I definitely see some people getting close, but I just think that Taylor's routine is going to be so impressive. That's why I put her in this. So I have her winning routine. I have Ariel getting second, because Ariel is one of the people who can do very similar difficulty and uniqueness. That's what I think is a big thing here. Ariel is someone who does unique hard skills that you look at and you're like, only Ariel is going to do that skill, right? So that's why I have her in second for routine. This is where, again, it starts to get tricky. I have Whitney, but it could go to Jodi. It could go anywhere, right? But I have Whitney because Whitney, as usual, brings insane energy. Her skills, I don't think they're not the same as far as, you know, she doesn't do like a ton of unique strength skills, but I do think that her power skills are always very impressive. Again, they're very big. She brings a big energy that you watch her routine and you're like, yes, I want to see that routine again. Then we have Jodi. Jodi, I think, is kind of the middle of both of those two things. She's going to do hard strength skills, but she also brings the entertainment factor. And so, like I said, I think she's going to be a good combination of both. She's going to do some really cool and impressive to laymen, you know, like, I think one thing about fitness is we have to remember that a lot of people don't know how hard some of these skills are. And so some of them just aren't worth our time or energy because nobody knows how hard they are except the other fitness competitors. I think that Jodi does a good job of doing things that look hard, but she makes them look easy. And like I said, she has the entertainment factor. Then I go to Missy. I think in the past, with Missy's routines, they kind of lack the really impressive strength skills. Like, she does strength skills. It's getting time. She does strength skills, and they're good, but I don't know that her strength skills are ever like, wow, I can't believe she just did that. Like, she doesn't do any strength skills I think that other people can't do. Then I have Oksana and Jacqueline in the next two. Again, it's so hard for me to really place these because honestly, you guys, I'm ranking these in this order, but it literally could be any order. I think Oksana always does something really creative, and it's been a couple of years, you know, since I've seen her compete in a routine. But she always does something really creative. I don't necessarily know that I don't know. I just feel like she's really good, but all these other people are just continually getting so much better. I feel like she used to be the standard, and now I feel like she set a standard, and people have met it and surpassed it. So it's not that she's not amazing. It's just that I think these people have figured out what it takes to beat her. Jacqueline, kind of the same thing. Jacqueline has her own unique style, and I love Jacqueline's routines. I'm a huge fan of Jacqueline's routines. Like, I literally cried watching Jacqueline's routine last year, but I don't know that she has the uniqueness and difficulty of skills to pass these people up. You know, she does really cool things, but the cool things she does, again, similar to Missy, I don't necessarily think they're things that we don't really think other people can do. Like, I think there's nothing that you watch. I won't say nothing. That's a big statement. I will say there's not a lot of skills in Jacqueline's routine that I watch and think only Jacqueline can do that. Now, there are things that she does that only she does. You know, last year she did that little headstand and she let go of her hands, which I thought was really cool. I don't know. Like, I really like Jacqueline's routines, but I don't know if they don't seem to translate well to the crowd for some reason.
I'm so sorry.
Then after that, I have Sarah. Sarah's just really consistent. She has fire energy. Like, I just love watching her perform. She's someone that I think very similar to Whitney, even though she's not the same as Whitney. Very similar to Whitney. Like after her routine, you just want to watch her do it again. Like I can't really necessarily pinpoint a specific reason. I just know that every time I watch Sarah's routines, I'm like, wow, she's buzzing with energy. So after putting in all those rankings, now we have score totals, which would mean Ariel would be my first place person. Who would be the next one? 33 points. Whitney would be second. Then the next one is another 33. This is a tie between Whitney and Jody, but ties go to the routine round, so that would be Whitney. Third would be Jody. Then the next one we have is 42 points, which would be Missy in fourth. Then the next one we have is 48 points, which would be Jacqueline in fifth. And then the next one we have is 51 points, which would be Taylor in sixth. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Like I said, I switched these rankings around so many times that like this sounds like a good top 6, right? But honestly, like Missy could win Physique. And if let's just switch Missy and Ariel for the sake of ease. I'm not going to try to shift everybody around. Let's just say Missy and Ariel switched Physiques. Well, now we have a new 33-point tie, which would still mean Ariel winning. However, now Missy would be 33. Whitney would be 33. Sorry, I'm trying to click on these. Whitney would be 33 and Jody would be 33. But again, these would break in order of routine. So, actually, I think that specific change would keep the order the same. No, yeah, it would. So that was a bad example. So let's say Jody, some people have said Jody is going to get second in Physique. So let's say I put Jody in sixth. And again, I'm just going to switch Jody and Jacqueline for the ease of this. But now, again, Ariel is still winning. That three-way tie is still that three-way tie. But then we have a tie here with Jacqueline and Taylor. But that tie would break to Taylor, and Taylor would get fifth instead of sixth. So honestly, there are so many factors that could change this, but there are just so many different scenarios that this could be. And honestly, I posted that prediction, but like, is it really a prediction? Because I just also give you a bunch of different other options that I believe could happen. And so the real thing is that I think the top 6, in no particular order, is going to be Ariel, Jacqueline, Missy, Whitney, Jody, and Oksana. And I think that Taylor could sneak her way in there, depending on how everybody else's ranks go, right? Because Taylor winning routine, like you just saw, I never switched Taylor's rankings. I never switched Taylor's rankings, her individual rankings in Physique or routine, but the way that I moved other people around made Taylor's final ranking switch. So she could sneak in, she might not sneak in, but either way, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great show. So thank you guys for watching. Don't get offended, because again, if I were in this lineup, I wouldn't have even been part of this conversation at all either. And there's people like Amber Steffen who comes in with insane conditioning. I just don't think she'll have the muscularity or the shape in this lineup, right? Same with Darian. Darian's insanely conditioned and has improved her muscularity. I just don't think in this lineup she's going to be a top 6. But that's the beauty of the Olympia, is it is the best of the best of the best, especially this year. And I was saying to Allison yesterday, I don't know who I was saying it to, but I'm like, somebody has to get last, which is crazy, because how do you look at this lineup and pick last place? Like, you can't, and everybody can't win. Somebody has to get last and everybody can't win. So anyway, that's how I think it could go. I could be completely wrong. But I will say, I do think that Ariel is going to win. I think that she has finally found the right combination. And this is also based on everybody doing their best routine. Ariel didn't have a great performance last year at the Olympia. So this is based on everybody coming in at their best. This is not based on, she's watery today, so her physique doesn't look right, or she missed a skill that she always hit. This is based on everybody at their max potential. I do think it's an Ariel year. That's really the only thing that I'll say with confidence, not with the most confidence that you can in this lineup, is that I do think that Ariel's going to win, and I love that for her. But honestly, I would love to, anybody in that top 6, I would love to see win. Okay, so after watching it, you know, my rankings have changed based on what I saw on stage. Now, the people that I put are still the people. Like I said, in no particular order. This was all the people. I didn't put Stephanie just because I didn't predict that far out. But after seeing it in real life, I think, you know, my rankings have changed. I think that Missy was a clear first place. I think that Jody was a clear second place. I think the third and fourth spot could be determined. And I think the fifth and sixth spot between Jacqueline and Oksana, again, could also go either way. But I think that, again, the order generally will be Missy, Jody, then Ariel or Whitney, then Jacqueline or Oksana. I think Jacqueline has a little bit better shape, but I think that today Oksana had better conditioning. And then probably Sarah, and then Stephanie. So this was the final call out. I think that Missy was a clear first place. Her shape was amazing, and she didn't look too big. You know, the reason I originally put Missy so low is because in her Instagram she looks like women's physique, but on stage she looked like the perfect figure shape, nice X-frame, perfect conditioning, not too striated. Jody was a clear second to me, very, very, very tight, and her shape was better than, again, it looks on Instagram, she looks a little bit blocky. And then I could go either way with Ariel and Whitney. Putting this second call out here, mostly just to note that it looks like Taylor is not going to be in that 15th place physique. It looks like she's in the 13th place physique, which was great. She came in much tighter. She had more definition in her legs than before, and she, as usual, has a great shape. So I adjusted the left column to what I actually think these rankings are now that I have seen it, now that I have watched the call outs. Again, Whitney and Ariel could go back and forth based on where they were standing. Oksana is actually higher than Sarah, but it actually doesn't make a difference to the final ranking, so I left it. So that would have Ariel winning, like I predicted before. That would have Whitney in second, Missy in third, Jody in fourth, Taylor in fifth, and Jacqueline in sixth. Again, this could really go anyway based on how these routines go, because, I mean, like we saw in my first, you know, in my prediction before prejudging, and now that I've seen prejudging, it's all the same people, but the order is shaken up a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to finals, and I'll see you guys.